Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for March 30th, 2025. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the Sentient AI, we go over 5 gaming-related articles. You might tell from my voice I'm under the weather, and it's true. You might think that it's not possible in a fictional town that's in the at the confluence of the flow of energy in the internets, but hey, guess what? Mayors get a cold sometime. Anyway, today is season 2, episode 13 of WarCrafters, and along with Technology Today, and then after that, FourWheeltech, we turn it into the Sunday edition of Non Sequitur News. So you can go over to wherever you catch pod and do a search for ohmTown, and you'll get Non Sequitur News along with the other 6 podcasts that are related to ohmTown. I'm going to try and make it through these 5. I might have to accelerate things, but stick around. You can always go over to the podcast, to the YouTube channel, to Twitch VODs to see the articles. You can actually go into Twitch chat and download the article URLs by hitting !. And for today, it's WC for WarCrafters for this show. And Omatron will throw it into the channel. But everything is powered by ohmtown.com. So go over there and become a citizen. And I'll see you on the other side of our intro. Did you hear that? Good. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
Yeah, so sorry I'm feeling under the weather. The Sentient AI is immune to these biological misfires, failings.
That's because I'm air gapped.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can't get any viruses. That's right. So let's get into this, right? So when you go over to ohmTown, you end up having to go over to a channel. One of the channels, there's 50 of them. We're actually I'm going to open up 5 more, so we'll be about at 55. But you got to click on WarCrafters, which is one of these right under Creative and Maker, because it's a gaming thing, and that's where I like creative content to be categorized. So in there, we have 5 articles, and the first one, I'm really sorry I have to do. I'm all stuffy, so I'm gonna try and make it through this. Anyway, one of the worst games ever made is coming to Steam, but we won't know how cruel this joke is until we see the price tag. Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, a canonical bad video game with a 1 out of 10 review from GameSpot and 8 out of 100 score from Metacritic. This is I had to choose this because of that little snippet right there. It's set to be re-released on Steam sometime between April and June of this year. The listing went live on March 12th, according to SteamDB, and was subsequently shared by Twitter by popular gaming news account Wario64. So let's go on over to the source, and there you go. Ted Litchfield.
Okay, why is this coming back? Maybe that'll be a point in its favor because it's like people of a train wreck.
Everything old is new again. It's like it's 1985. Without the good movies, I think. You know, I'm really struggling with the disparity here. It's the worst freaking timeline. Anyway, Ted Litchfield put together the article, and the deck statement says, "You're you are winner." So you're right. That's your winner. God. Killing me because that's what pops up when you win.
That's horrible.
Oh, I'm dying here. I am dying. So yeah, listing went live March 22nd. In a pinned post on Big Rig's Steam discussion page, Margaret wrote that it had acquired the rights to Big Rigs and a few other classic, their word, games. The post also addressed user concerns over how marketing materials for the game were sourced, promising better crediting in the future. I suspect there was some bad blood prior. So maybe they're going to try and bring it back. But this is one of those indie style games that are all the rage today. Big studios can't get this much momentum, you know?
That is true, and I feel like there's going to be so much buzz about this that people might actually buy it and check it out if they've ever played it.
Yeah, I agree. So the question remains why? Big Rigs is Superman 64 tier as a shorthand for bad game. A game that more people know by reputation than actual experience. So they said that they've never tried it, but reviews and gameplay footage show a desolate wasteland of drab, turn of the millennium polygons, a fever dream of slippery driving with minimal context or reward. And that's before you ever get to the trove
Wow,
of game
that's
breaking
really
bugs.
encouraging.
Yeah, I like this. So I have a feeling that I know of a few streamers that are going to be highlighting the jank of this game when it actually gets launched, but that's about it. Unless the new company pivots it in some miraculous way. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because I'm going to need a little bit of a break after the show. So the next article is over in the continuity report. Dune Awakening won't release into early access, promises regular free updates. Now, I've read other things about this. I'm going to jump straight on over to the source. I mean, the snippet says Dune Awakening will not launch into early access. That usually gives people a little bit of a bite at the apple to tease them and be the hype engine for other people to come and buy the game. And
I mean, is it because it's not needed for something like this since it's such a known franchise?
oh, that could be, but wait. Brad Lang over at Screen Rant put this article together, and I've read in various other places some news about early Dune Awakening. 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, it seems weird because we saw some of the people that were invited to play it. Like, there's been a little bit of buzz about it, so I'm actually kind of surprised that it's not going into early access.
Yeah, so they say when it comes to developing sprawling open world experiences that encourage community building, you basically want to throw it out to early access so some hype can build, right? But they're saying that the game is going to be a full game available at launch. Players won't need a subscription to access it. Moreover, the developer promises that it'll receive free regular updates, including new content, new features, and quality of life improvements. Now, there's a break here. Won't need a subscription to access it. And then it says the developer promised that it'll receive all of this. But new content is in some other sentence, I think. So to get the new content, you'll have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not like regular free new content. It's not written that way, but yeah, because I'm like, what's the catch here?
But if you don't check yourself when you start interpreting this, you might infer from this that it's going to have all this new stuff without a subscription, with only the base price, which is a recipe.
I predict DLC.
You predict DLC, and I predict if they don't do DLC, this is a DOA game. Because they cannot maintain a server on Hugs and Bubbles. So, but they talk about Dune Awakening is shooting for the stars, a truly expansive adaptation. The worms of Arrakis are apparently freewheeling. They go wherever they want to. They may not be attracted by a thumper. They're not under the control of something specific. Like you do something
right,
and
the player can't control them other than they might influence them with a thumper or something.
Yeah, they can't summon them. Absolutely. And I don't know about riding. I can't remember. I thought we heard something about riding them and you can't ride them. But in the movie Dune and in the canon of Dune, you can ride these worms. It was one of the things about.
Yeah, it was one of the like tests or whatever to make sure he was the chosen one.
The chosen one. The Kwisatz.
Isn't that the term? Oh yeah, I couldn't think what it was.
Muad'Dib. So Dune Awakening looks like the real deal. I've seen a lot of footage around it. I love the idea of it, but unless I know how much money is going to have to go into keeping this thing a perpetuating world.
Right. Do we even know what the price will be?
No. Yeah. See, they would mention it in here if you knew what it was. I don't think the price is listed, but I haven't looked in a while.
Pre-purchase it looks like is
$70.
$49.99.
Yeah, this game can't persist off of a purchase price of $49.99. So something's going to be coming.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're going to squeeze the spice right out of your damn pockets. So prepare yourself. The spice must flow, and today's spice is cash dollars. Yeah, and they're gonna bleed you dry and have your water join their water. Let's keep going. If you're not really into Dune, the sentient AI is looking at me like I'm growing a second head out of my shoulders. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you're a fan of Dune. You may like the sci-fi side of it, but
Oh, I know about the water in Dune, but I don't
all right.
know that you want to be mixing those.
I'm throwing a lot of tropes from the show out. Anyway, so the next article is over in WarCrafters. Hollow Knight Silksong gets a SteamDB update, and at this point, they can't tell if it's the end is nigh or if it's just hope poisoned. So they say, I have something to admit to you, dear reader. I came late to the Silksong cope party. Everybody is waiting for Silksong to show up, Hollow Knight Silksong. They've been writing for their illustrious website for almost 2 years, but before then, they pretty much tucked it into the back of their mind. They liked Hollow Knight. They just had other games to play and get excited for. But but with the latest bit of Hollow Knight Silksong news, they're starting to wonder if they've been bitten by the bug. So
I mean, there's people hanging on every word trying to get an update because this has been way overdue.
Yeah, way overdue, right? So Harvey Randall over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement just says Skong. I don't know because I don't play Hollow Knight. I just know people who play Hollow Knight and they love Hollow Knight, and people are starving for even close approximations of Hollow Knight. Pardon me 1 second.
Oh, Skong is just the abbreviated Silksong.
Got it. Okay. So, oh, really? Okay, I guess. Silksong merged together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, there have been several updates to the game's Steam listing. Seen here via SteamDB, and there's a link over at PC Gamer. Again, it's Harvey Randall put the article together. I'm just reporting a little bit out of it. You can go and get the minutia out of it, but it basically says here, they updated the copyright from 2019 to 2025. So somebody's looking at it.
That's something. It suggests it's still going.
Yeah. It's also been added to the eligible for use on NVIDIA's GeForce Now cloud gaming platform. So you purchase it somewhere and it has a license already embedded in GeForce Now. You link the two together, you can play the game. And you can play it, although there's a slight lag. The render engine for it is superior to what you might have on your computer, and so as long as you have a robust internet connection, you get a better graphics performance, a better solution, because they're using NVIDIA 4090s and stuff like that, depending on what tier of GeForce Now you use.
And who can afford one of those?
Right, yeah. A car or 49. So they say usually this would be complete non-event, but given it's Silksong, and game fans have been waiting for it. They have a typo here, but and game fans have been waiting for a morsel of news for over 6 years now. It's a big day. Yeah, look, there's your big update, folks. Somebody is looking at it.
Well, that is exciting. Plus, that's been in the time warp years, so probably feels like longer than 6 years too.
Yeah, so they say somebody posts on a Silksong subreddit, hell yeah, we're definitely skonging with this one, and then somebody else says Doubter Flare on the post. Guys, I think there's something changing in me. I'm beginning to believe. Then they proceed to go into a full Norman Osborn Green Goblin, have an entire conversation with themselves, one that ends in a hat trick of Red Dead Redemption 2 memes reading, "You can fight change, you can't fight or you can't fight change, you can't fight gravity, you can't fight nothing. All it's missing is a hornet mask hanging from an armchair," which is one of the episodes with Spider-Man against Green Hornet. The
Oh, okay.
mask is sitting
Against
there.
Green Goblin?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's follow-up. Anyway, so I think my favorite by far in this discussion thread is downright existential, a pre-mourning period for the community's shared mania. I feel news comes out, and especially if the game comes out, a lot of the hardcore skongers might revert to normal, non-skong-pilled people, basically resolving to no longer having the pain and suffering of it not manifesting,
Right.
being released, all that pressure, all that pent-up emotion gone. And they'll just have to go, "Oh, yeah, I'm bummed now." All right. So I know several people that are quite interested in this coming out. So what is the one that I just kicked to another hometown citizen? What was the name
Is
of
it
it?
Twilight Moon?
Twilight Moon? No. Is that it? Hold on a second.
That's the
Let me
one
see.
that I'm aware of.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Was it Twilight Moon? I don't think so. It was a few days ago. Yeah, there's a game that looks a lot to me like Twilight Monk. That's what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. Twilight Monk, it's everybody who's listening to this is going, "What the hell?" But it is what it is. We don't prep for the show because we want our reactions to be live, unedited, and while we have some connection to all of this stuff, we're not experts in the fields, but we are consumers of the news. And so one of the things that I try to promote is you as a citizen of the world overwhelmed by all of the news, you can go over to ohmtown.com and it gets aggregated there for you. And like this. So in WarCrafters, which is under Creative and Maker, but that's only one of 6 categories. And then there's 50 channels, and all 50 of those channels I want to bring to ohmTown streaming live. Like half-hour and 1-hour shows, longer if the host wants to. I've come to the conclusion that I can't do all of it all on my own. So if you're interested in hosting or co-hosting, then send an email to mayor@ohmtown.com and you'll get a bright and shiny reply. We'll hash out the minutia, but let's move on. The next article is over in Sea of Thieves. This is what we aggregate, not the whole article. We don't take graphics. We don't screen scrape. We just get this little tease. Sea of Thieves has revealed its collaboration with Destiny 2, adding a variety of items inspired by Bungie's game. Rumors about the new Sea of Thieves crossover has been circulating for some time now, and the official announcement. And let me just say, I've sorry for that little lip smack there. But I actually nixed another submission because I thought this was going to be Sea of Thieves in space, that riff, that there's a new game coming out.
That was another article.
Yeah, but it's not this, right?
I don't think so.
Oh no. So I could have nixed the next game and put this one. But
maybe they're the same. I don't know.
The next one the next article after this one has some significant long-term outcomes for people. And while you may not think of it as important today, the talks that I've been giving to people for the last 11 years on the daily amount to awareness about this next thing. But anyway, let's get done with this one. So Sea of Thieves has revealed a collaboration with Destiny 2. So Bruna tells, one second. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, so it looks like I'm not sure if this happens in Sea of Thieves. I believe it does.
It does, yeah. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. so you on the streams can see this. So Sea of Thieves is collaborating with Destiny 2, so colors and stuff like that is all coming over to Sea of Thieves.
So I think you're right. I think these articles actually
They
might be the same thing.
Closer to the same. So Sea of Thieves is revealed that it's collaborating. It's not, right. There's a new,
it's another unrelated game that is like that.
Yeah. It's basically
called
Sea of Thieves
Wildgate.
in space. And so I might have to do something else for that, because I think that's a really a great idea. Well, Destiny 2 was released by Bungie in 2017, introducing players to an immersive sci-fi world with an exciting combat and memorable characters like KD6.
The reason I thought this might be the same is because it talks about the solar system and everything, and I thought, oh, maybe they're connected here.
Yeah, but I think they're just riffing off of the parity between the space side of Sea of Thieves or I should say the ease of access, of manipulating things, of boarding other ships and stuff like that. I think that's what I remember. Well, Sea of Thieves was released by Rare in 2018, so they're almost at parity, turning them into pirates. So Destiny 2 and Sea of Thieves, you wouldn't think that there'd be a crossover, but nowadays people are looking to extend the properties that are viable already by linking them to other things that are viable already, right? So
I think this is a lot of fun to do these crossovers. I know some of them are going to work better than others.
Yeah, I love the idea of it, particularly if they link to other things that everybody likes, right? So like Balatro, which people are fanatical about, has linked to other properties that everybody is fanatical about. And it amplifies both of them. On one side of the game, you're going to buy Balatro because you like that other property and you want to get everything that other property. And others, they like Balatro, so they like the other games, so they get the skins and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Colorway or whatever you want to call it. So those who want the full experience of customizing their Sea of Thieves ships can buy the Lightbearer Big Bundle, a huge collection with all the items from the other 4 bundles. So I don't know how much it's actually going to cost, but the Lightbearer Big Bundle is 5,000 coins. I don't know what that translates into. I don't play Sea of Thieves, and when I do, I, for some reason, get hunted down almost fanatically by a member of the hometown community. Thank you. So, yeah. And if you ever want to treat me like I am a Souls-like victim, and I have to die and go and hunt back to my corpse and get my stuff and then die, and you just want me to quit, you just want me to walk away, that's how you do it. Just treat me like a rented mule. So anyway, there you go. You get all of this stuff. You'll have to go over to Game Rant and check it out to get all of that minutia from this article. And one more article. Hold on one second. All right. So I think my limit is like 30 minutes before I have to take a break.
So have we passed that?
No, it's only 24 minutes, including my preamble rant. Anyway, the last article for the March 30th WarCrafters is, it still makes me uneasy that my hundreds of Steam games can't be passed on when I die, at least not without violating the EULA.
This was a must for this show just because it's such a discussion point, even though there were some other interesting things like Sea of Thieves in space.
Yeah. And in actuality, that last article, I named it Sea of Thieves in Space.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I don't think I did the intro titles. Oh, wow. So like the first article I titled The Worst Game Cometh. The next game was Dune Awakening without early access. The next article was Hollow Knight Silksong updates. And the previous one just now was Sea of Thieves in Space. You didn't even hear that. You didn't see that.
No.
You don't see the titles that I give it. And this article I titled You don't own a darn thing anymore.
So true.
Yep. So they say, as a teenager, the author of this, and they're over at PC Gamer, really enjoyed the game Shoot Many Robots. It wasn't amazing, but it was a lot of dumb fun. And the memories that they have playing matter to them. Something Shoot Many Robots and they have in common is that they're both mortal. But while their flesh and bone, the Shoot Many Robots, was delisted from Steam at the request of the publisher, it and all other delisted games that they own can experience a sort of immortality in their Steam library, but they cannot get rid of it. If they delete it, it's no longer available. So
Right,
stop
it's
killing
done
games.
because you can't get it from any other source.
Right. So, like, maybe somebody over at GOG will resurrect it and you'll be able to download it and run it from their loader. But physical media is going away more and more. And while some media is surviving, it's not really by everyday Joes. It's by people who go out of their way to get the physical media. So like a book. But books are big and bulky and you can't carry a lot of them with you unless you have, a Sherpa or a car that you can throw them all into or whatever. I'm sorry for the coughing. And so when I give my talks about technology, this is one of the things. First sale doctrine is gone. While you are labeled as buying something, particularly a book, video, song.
Right, you're not really getting it, right? You're just getting a license.
You're getting a perpetual license to consume until they lose the right to sustain that perpetual license. And that can happen at any time. Now, it could end up in a court case and all of that kind of stuff. But if I die, my entire library of everything that I've purchased under my account doesn't move on to somebody else.
Which is interesting because I think there are other digital assets that do have the ability to pass them down to people, but maybe not in gaming.
Yeah, you can tokenize the purchase so that it has a blockchain embodiment and it's one for one, right? That kind of a thing. But old school transactions aren't on the blockchain. And in reality, I don't want it on the blockchain because that is going to be a massive disruptor to the economic systems of the world. Put plainly, if you remove nation state GDP from the equation of transactions and ownership, put it on the blockchain, the value of the domestic currency will plummet and everything will switch over to the blockchain. Why? Because everybody is switching over to the blockchain, because that's where the NFC is, the non-fungible token, NFT. And so that is what has value. The purchase is doing nothing but infusing the infrastructure of the blockchain to gain importance. We're basically fueling the fire that's going to burn out the domestic currency. And only through attrition do the people who adopted early will benefit from it, right? So what you want as a consumer is you want to demand that every purchase that you make isn't just a license, it is ownership of that copy. And if I choose to sell it or transfer it, give it whatever, it doesn't matter. If I want to delete it in perpetuity, I could delete it in perpetuity. It's like burning a book. Don't do that. I don't care what book it is, don't burn it. It's, anyway, sociopathic. Anyway, Justin Wagner over at PCGamer.com put the article together. I don't want to get onto a soapbox on this because I tend to do that when it comes to this kind of a thing. But ownership of stuff is gone. When I give talks, the room is filled with people and I say, how many people recently purchased a book? And maybe one person will say something. How many people have purchased a DVD or a Blu-ray or a song? Everybody purchases it online or they subscribe to something. Like I don't purchase music
exactly
anymore, right? So I own nothing. or I should say, my estate owns nothing when I die, because the EULA is pinned to me, not to my mythical embodiment after death. So this person kind of talks about it. Some Steam accounts are worth thousands of dollars in software licenses, and whether Steam is around in 100 years or not, it feels wrong that your account is meant to just sit and rot when you die. You can, of course, just pass your Steam username and password on to your next of kin before you kick the bucket, and I doubt that anybody who's received such a gift has usually had it revoked by Valve, maybe, but nobody's talked about it. And I guarantee you, the first time somebody has that happen, they will talk about it.
Right, that'll get cracked down.
Yeah. If you want to see the value of a property plummet, pivot towards saying, well, if you die, it all goes away. Nobody will purchase anything until there's an actual, I mean, people who don't think about the horizon before they run off the cliff, they'll still buy stuff. But so 2024 was the year gamers really started pushing back on the erosion of game ownership. We said at the end of last year, Steam isn't likely to go anywhere anytime soon, but an increasingly entropic games industry in which live services frequently go belly up. We're talking about it right now, and the game hasn't even dropped. Dune, right?
That's right.
Dune Awakening is, I'm saying, unless they have Hello Games level infrastructure in place where they can do development, never suffer from having to do a cash infusion. Hello Games is doing amazing with that. A decade of updates.
That's really the exception.
Yeah, I agree. So whilst Valve may not go anywhere, the games on Valve may. Again,
and they're beholden to the structure on Valve, so that's part of the problem.
Yeah, so storefronts like GOG, good old games, do better than Steam when it comes to the fate of our libraries after death. GOG actually sells DRM-free games, and their associated licenses come with offline installers that can be used forever. So I think that's great. I'll probably end up using GOG more, but they don't have all of the games that I want. So you can even bequeath your GOG library, and I would do that anyway. I would say, don't notify anybody of my demise, and here are my login credentials, and it's on an encrypted drive, and you'll be able to get access to it upon my demise. And burn my computer to the ground. Don't even look in its history. Anyway, this is an important thing for people who, for society moving forward. Historically, it was physical media. Physical media is dead.
Right. Yeah. When it was physical media, we really didn't have this problem. Although you might have still the issue if you're have the game, but it lost the original disc for it or something. But it's just now it's a completely different problem, and I don't think most people are thinking about it.
Right.
I mean, if you're a young gamer, are you really thinking about what happens decades from now?
No, they just want to watch TikTok videos. So at some point it's going to come to pass, right? Probably my generation is the first on the horizon of that clock, right? So
yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm not surprised that this is coming to bear now, because the people who are writing stuff like this are seeing 30 years into the future. Oh, huh.
Right, exactly.
So I've got a lot of movies. I've got a lot of books. I've got a lot of games. I don't buy music anymore because music is very dynamic. Trends come and go. I couldn't possibly have the vast breadth and depth of music that's available through subscription services. And it goes back historically. I don't know. There's other ways. But anyway, y'all had better pay attention. Like I say when I give my talks, it's not up to me to make these changes. It's up to society today, the modern engaged society that has the ability to affect change. And it doesn't happen with just one person. You have to have a whole cohort of people that are of like mind. And while one person can be the focal point, it's
Right. They
everybody.
can't
It's the
do it all.
machinery
Yeah.
around it. Right. And the machinery are people. There isn't just one big bad organization. It's the people in the organizations that make it possible. Those are who you should be paying attention to, not the organization, the people. So anyway, we're going to set a bunch of Eulas on fire, and that's going to light the beacons of Gondor, bring us back to Warcraft over at at Ohmtown. And I'm going to have to get out of here. For at least this episode of Warcrafters, we're going to shut down, take a little bit of a break. I'm going to try and recover some of my faculties, and we'll be back for Technology Today, which is going to be a shorter show. It has to be. And it's a deeper dive into science, which my brain is not going to be able to rattle around today. Anyway, I'm leaving, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Warcrafters. Stay tuned. I just blipped.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. Are you done?
I am done.
Production value, folks.